Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Ozchris, here with reviews from some Xenoscope Entertainment titles. We have Dragon's Blood, Gretel, and Oz Heart of Magic. So I've been meaning to get into some Xenoscope Entertainment, mainly if anyone's familiar with them, they're known for the Grimm fairy tales, which is kind of their reimagining of the Grimm fairy tales. So like Snow White, Alice in Wonderland, Red Riding Hood, all that. So I like the core concept of like reimagining. I'm all for that, and the covers for a lot of their titles are really really good. So caught my eye. These are the three that are currently ongoing. They're not really ongoing. They're all kind of mini series apart from the main Grimm fairy tale series, if I recall correctly. If I'm wrong, please correct me on that. But most of their spin-off stuff, most of their non-GFT stuff, have their own mini-series and several mini-series, in fact. So I picked out these three and a couple of others. The other ones are slightly a bit older from past years, but these are the most recent, currently ongoing ones. So Dragon's Blood, Legend of Sigurd, Legends of Sigurd, issue number 1, part 1 of 4. Many generations ago, the Volsung clan was tasked with slaying the dragon Fafnir. Sigurd, the last of his clan, must now take up the fight against his family's ancient and terrible foe. So this is written by Nick Bermel, artwork by Jason Moore, colors by Max Flan Araujo, and I think that's a G, so I'm going to say it's a G, Ghostrifter, and the cover itself is by Martin Coccolo and Ivan Nunes. So pretty much it follows the story of Sigurd hunting and slaying their family's mortal enemy, the dragon Fafnir. So we see in flashbacks his childhood, his upbringing. He's helped raised by his brother, who he cares about deeply, until his brother has to leave to fulfill this destiny. As such, if a family member goes missing or is killed by the dragon, the next in line has to continue it. It's something they have to uphold. Like I said, it's their destiny to kill their ancient foe. It has to be done, no matter how many fall, someone has to do it eventually. So currently it's up to Sigurd to kill Fafnir, and there's a lot of good, just kind of badass action in this. So as he reaches Fafnir's the castle that the dragon is inside of, he meets worms, WYRM, I think that's how it's spelled. Dragons, without wings, they're kind of much smaller, pretty much like dragon hounds, essentially. So one charges at him, and he just grabs it, just pulls its mouth back, killing it, just snapping it, and just out of my way, vermin, and the rest just run off. It's just like, nope, we're not messing with him. He's messed up one of us. We're not. Just pure badass entertainment there. And as he gets closer to the dragon's lair, he finds more of his ancestors, especially his mother. All have fallen, so he takes treasures, mementos with them, especially his mother's blade, Wrath, a famous blade within their clan, to hunt and kill down the dragon. And got this great double-page spread here of introducing Fafnir the Dragon. Typical dragon, hordes of gold just lying there. And the next just few parts of just Sigurd trying to, at his best, try to take down the dragon. And you see pretty much the culmination of every person's attempt to kill the dragon. So Sigurd finds a wound near its heart. One of its eyes has been stabbed out, and just as it grabs onto the dragon, Sigurd just rips its freaking wing off. Dude, Sigurd is one strong guy. He's able to snap one's mouth back by himself, barely, and able to just pull one's wing off, an actual full-on dragon's wing off. And I'll leave it there. If he succeeded or not. So Story, 4.5 out of 5. I enjoyed this. This, of these three, this is definitely my favorite. This is one I'm definitely going to recommend. Just pure dragon slaying badass entertainment. That's what it was. Not really what I expected. It's but what I got, and I really enjoyed this. Definitely, of these three, definitely check out Dragon's Blood. The art and the coloring, 4.5 out of 5. The art and the coloring, I really, really like. It really fits well with this fantasy, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings-esque setting of Dragon's Blood. I really, really liked, especially here. I like the art and coloring here is probably at my favorite, when he faces off against the worms and just snaps one of their mouths back and the others just run away in fear. The cover, 4.5 out of 5. This is a great looking cover of just Sigurd facing off against the dragon, right behind him, waiting to take him out. So definitely pick up Dragon's Blood. You will most likely not be disappointed with it. So on to Gretel. This is the most kind of obvious one of the reimagining of a fairy tale, or a I would say it's a fairy tale. Hansel and Gretel. This is the reimagining of Hansel and Gretel. So in this one, for Gretel's story has been more of a nightmare than a fairy tale ever since the tragic events of her childhood. These events have left her cursed for many centuries. After her heart-wrenching debut in Grimm Universe Presents, Gretel has been gifted the power of premonition, but when she has a psychic vision foretelling the end of the world, Gretel must open old wounds if she wants to try and prevent it from coming true. So you have the story is by Joe Bruscher, Ralph Tedesco, Dave Franchini, and Ben Mears, but it is written by Ben Mears. The artwork is by Alan Otero. The colors by CCD La Cruz. The cover, the main cover, which I got, was by Igor Vitorino and Ivan Nunes. So in this one, this reimagining of the tale of Hansel and Gretel, when she and her brother were kidnapped by the witch. The witch kills Hansel and has Gretel eat his heart. But as such, when she does this, she actually becomes a witch herself and gains powers. And throughout her entire life, for hundreds of years, she becomes a witch hunter to hunt down these witches. She kills them, takes their heart, eats it, and gains their power. So there's one that has like pyrokinesis. She kills that witch, she eats her heart, she gets pyrokinesis as well. So very interesting tool of for her to get her powers. She has to as grim as it is, it's a very interesting way for her to get powers. It's kind of like harkens back to like old not really Viking, but like very old hunters and warriors and stuff. Just like, oh, if I eat my enemy's brain or heart, I gain his strength. I gain everything that made him a powerful foe. All that. So I get the kind of symbolism in a way with that. So the main part of this book, about 4/5 of this book, is introducing Gretel, her history leading up to this, her going through different time periods, hunting down different witches and gaining their powers, until it comes to present day, where a month before this, the witches have now started to hunt her. So now the witch hunter has become the witch hunted, and one of her mentors, Samuel, is also being hunted as well. So that's where the present day takes place. She reunites with Samuel and helps deal with the witch that's been attacking him. So I'll leave it there. Story, 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I kind of wish, my only flaw with this was I wish we got more of the present day stuff. But considering this is supposed to be her first series, correct me if I'm wrong, and she debuted in a Grim Universe Presents. It wanted to show people her history leading up to now, get it over and done with instead of doing it in another issue. So I kind of understand why, but I wish I got more out of the present day stuff. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I really liked it. It's an interesting reimagining, having Gretel be the witch. I know there was a similar one with like that Hansel and Gretel witch hunter film or something with like Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, I think it was, a few years ago. But I think I like this. I think I like this one much better. The art and the coloring, 4 out of 5. I really like the art and the coloring. Art and coloring is really good, especially. I really like this the black and white and gray here as well. But the coloring works well. It's a very works with the whole dark supernatural witch setting. So really good art and coloring by the team. The cover, 4.5 out of 5. Really love it. Intimidating Gretel using her witch powers. Good cover, good art and coloring on that. And on to Oz, Heart of Magic. This should be another obvious a reimagining. Wizard of Oz, but apparently this is like the most recent miniseries in like the Oz series. There have been other Oz books before this, so if you want to get like understand the characters' relationships with other characters, you're probably going to have to read the previous works. But so let's get into it. Oz Heart of Magic issue number 1, cut off from most of her loyal followers and exiled from the Emerald City. Dorothy is still trapped in a body that is not her own. Now on the run through increasingly forbidden lands with the very heart of the realm itself on the line, she must protect herself and the people who rely on her. The story is by Dave Fricini and Terry Kavanagh, but written by Terry Kavanagh. Artwork by Marcelo Muller, sorry. Colors by Leonardo. Name butchering time. Pacchiarotti. The cover is by Martin Coccolo and Ivan Nunes. Oh, man, Ivan Nunes is on all of these. Jeez. Is he the colorist? I'm going to assume he's the colorist. The coloring looks very similar. So, but like I said, you kind of might have to read the previous Oz books to understand more about what's going on with Oz. But this first page here pretty much retells all of them. Just the whole history. There's like, I'm Dorothy Gale. Here's how I got to Oz. Yada yada. Now the wizard has switched bodies with me. He's now in my original body, and I'm in this body now, and I'm kind of exiled, and I have Toto and all these other people with me, my loyal followers, to help save the realm from the evil wizard and to reclaim my body. So that is the main story of this issue. Dorothy needs to find a way to defeat the wizard, while the wizard as Dorothy is enacting their own plans in the Emerald City alongside the Scarecrow, or Bartleby as he's called in this. I'm going to assume Bartleby doesn't know that Dorothy is actually not Dorothy, and it's just the wizard. So OG Dorothy, real Dorothy, OC Do Not Steal Dorothy, and her followers encounter various different threats throughout the land. So spiders, which are just giant flying spiders, and then they encounter a gnome. I don't know why that's funny, a gnome. But Dorothy is has a no killing policy, very Batman-ish. She's on a no killing policy, and she heals the gnome and meets the gnome king, who decides to aid her in her quest, knowing who she really is. And I'll leave it there. So, story, I'll give the story a 4 out of 5. I was entertained. I liked it, even though I don't don't have full knowledge about this entire series. I wasn't 100% lost. It's good that they give the whole recount in the first page of where the story is now, what led up to it. But yeah, I think this would have been. I think would have been better if I did read previous ones. But I think it works enough on its own that you don't particularly really need to. It's just a it gives you a helping hand if you've read the Oz books before. So hence why I give it a 4 out of 5. The art and the coloring, I'll give that a 4 out of 5 as well. I definitely like the art and the coloring when it's in Greenia, not the Emerald City, Greenia. The parts where Wizard Dorothy, and also later on when they get attacked by spiders, and then when they meet the Gnome and the Gnome King. The art and coloring of that is really good. And the cover 4.5 out of 5. I really, really like this cover. Really good art and coloring on it. Dorothy looking very menacing because it's not actually Dorothy, it's the Wizard Dorothy. Just hot, but I'm pretty sure she would kill me. Kind of look. It's a great cover regardless. So that was it for those Xenoscope Entertainment books. Oz, Heart of Magic, Gretel, and Dragon's Blood. If you found any of these interesting, definitely pick any of these 3 up. But definitely the one I would absolutely recommend is Dragon's Blood. I just found it to be just great dragon slaying entertainment. Hack and slash some dragons. Who needs Game of Thrones when you have Dragon's Blood? If you're disappointed with Game of Thrones, want something else that has dragons in it, read this. So that is all. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.